Hot Springs Village Inside Out is a closer look at the greatness of Hot Springs Village, Arkansas and the surrounding areas. People, places, experiences. Hot Springs Village is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Join me, Randy Cantrell, and my co-host Dennis Simpson as we engage in weekly conversations to explore Hot Springs Village Inside Out. Today's show is brought to you by Central Arkansas's favorite radio station, KVRE. Find them on the dial at 92.9 FM. Stream them live at kvre.com. RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village. The award-winning RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village is the largest real estate office inside the village with over 30 full-time agents and support staff. Visit them to learn more about this beautiful place to solve your real estate needs. Call them today at 1-800-364-9007. Find them online at explorehsv.com. They are RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village at 1-800-364-9007 or online at explorehsv.com. Ike Eisenhower State Farm. Ike and his award-winning team have been serving the insurance needs of folks all around Hot Springs Village since 1998. Ike has qualified for State Farm's President's Club, Chairman's Circle, and Hot Springs Village Insurance Agent of the Year. Call Ike Eisenhower State Farm today at 501-984-4100. That's 501-984-4100. Find them online at ikeeisenhower.net. Call them today for all your insurance needs because, like a good neighbor, Ike Eisenhower State Farm is there.
Dennis Simpson, Hot Springs Village Inside Out with Miss Melissa Spears. Miss Kendall Gominski. How is everybody today, ladies?
Good. How are you, Dennis?
Doing quite well. Miss Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Well, let's go to the 5 Mile High View real quick first. Melissa, what do you do?
I'm the superintendent of the Jessieville School District.
And Miss Kendall, what do you do?
I am the director of curriculum and instruction for the Jessieville School District.
So basically, I have the queen bees on the screen with me is what I'm hearing. I've got the power team. Well, speaking of power, a few months ago, we didn't have any. What happened, Miss Kendall?
The tornado?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wonderful day. January 2nd, actually, at 2:42 in the afternoon.
Coming up on a year already?
Yes.
We
Getting
are
close.
Wow. Melissa, I'm not, as the crow flies, 3 miles from you. What happened? I mean, I was driving by and I thought, well, there was a couple of dark clouds. Boom, right?
Yeah. And that's kind of the way we were. We knew the potential and all that. We were watching and there was nothing other than just, some rain and some weather and nothing nearby. And first thing we knew, we had our SRO coming in from outside and he said, "It's a tornado. We need to take cover." And I'd been watching the weather. I said, "No, it's not. There's nothing." He said, "I'm telling you, it's a tornado. Get in there." And sure enough, it was.
Ned Permy has not warned us, so it cannot possibly be a tornado. We haven't heard anything from the Weather Service, so it's not officially a tornado yet, but it was, right?
I think I actually pointed to the TV and I said, "There's nothing on there."
It's funny. We get spoiled. People from around the United States that move here to the village, they're like, well, there's no tornado sirens. There's no siren system or whatever. And yes, they have a point. But in lieu of that, my little trusty dusty phone tells me when we have a warning. And, we weren't even under a watch at that time, were we, ladies?
No.
And literally
I don't think so.
I was going to say out of the blue, but out of the gray, boom. And what did it do? What happened?
It started around Pride Park. I don't know if you're familiar with our campus, but at the south end of our campus, and hit our admin building. The roofs kind of went up through by the elementary building, and I'm using my hands. I'm sorry, I talk with my hands. Up across the cafeteria and the elementary building. We had damage inside that elementary, the hallway. We had four different sets of double doors that we had to replace. It damaged the doors. It went down that hallway and up out a window at the end of that hallway, pulled out ceiling tiles. I don't understand the science behind it.
Well,
that's
Kendall,
what happened, and then hit our football field.
Yeah, Kendall, you have some photos there, if you'd pull those up. And I want to just say, and you can you can chastise me in any way you want, but the dear Lord was watching out that nobody got hurt, nobody, which is remarkable based on what all happened, right?
It is, and I'm not going to chastise you at all. It was the grace of God, and it was God's hand on us.
Man.
And
So Kendall, tell us what we're looking at here for those that don't know, that haven't been here before.
So this is the front of the Rock building. That is the oldest building on campus, the original school for Jessieville. This is the before picture, or I hate to say before, but it's right after the tornado came through. Yeah. That is my car right there underneath the trees.
You mean that was your car?
That was my car. Yes, that was my car. And then this is what it looks like today. So we're very, very, very blessed with the number.
And I've always loved that stone building. And when I drive up that way, I always think about the WPA and the CCC. Was that built around that time? Was it a 20s or a 40s or 50s building or what?
1936. Yeah, really? 1936 is when it was. August of 1936 was when our first students entered that building.
Wow. And what a grand old building. And no real damage there, just the front yard torn to pieces, right?
Right. We didn't even have to replace the roof on that building.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Right.
What was the total bill when we got done, Melissa? What was the expense?
It's over $4 million. And there's still joking. A few things. No, there's still a few things that we are adding, just bits and pieces that we're still finding now, but it's going to be a little over $4 million.
So this was not the campus renovation fund system you had in mind. Is that correct?
Correct.
That is correct.
So give us the next shot, if you would, Miss Kendall.
These were huge, massive trees that were just uprooted.
I couldn't have reached around them. I'm a big old boy. I mean, they're 30 or 40 inches around easy.
This is right here where these gentlemen are. This is the boardroom, and my office is located there. And I could hear the sound of a train whistle, like they always say you'll hear. And it was the wind coming through this area by the awning. And so this was all torn off. I think we went, I want to say from January 2nd until maybe March without an awning. And you don't realize how much you miss that awning until you have to walk outside with an umbrella every time you go.
No. You're forgetting a little detail of history. You don't realize how much you won't need that awning until you get 40 extra inches of rain in the spring.
Yes, that is true. That is true. So that's what it looks like today. I took some of these shots today.
Yeah.
Nice addition.
Dramatically different.
Yes. And then this was inside the classrooms that evening. There were students in the building, in the classrooms that took shelter. They see the ceiling coming down, and they took shelter in their classrooms. And then once we knew that it was safe for our students to evacuate to our safe room, because we do have a tornado room, and did not
if you have time to get there. If you have time to get there, right? Goodness.
Right. We were already across campus when we got the alert from the weather alert that there was a tornado. I was like, too late.
Could have told you.
Could have told you that there was one. This is the part of our band building. This building was built in about 1985, somewhere around there, when we started the program. And so this was all of the side of the roof. And this sits right below the football field. And this is what it looks like today. That's been totally redone on the inside. It looks very nice. That's one thing about this destruction is you see the destruction on January 2nd, and then you see the beauty that comes from it. It's really nice. This was our football field on January 2nd. And these sticks right here, I don't know if you can see those very well, but
I see them stuck in the yellow sticks stuck in the ground. Yeah.
They weren't just stuck in the ground. They were embedded in the ground. Todd Jacobian came out, I want to say on maybe that happened on Monday. I want to say maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, he came out and he was just enthralled with the devastation and how it just impaled the ground so much.
Now, is that are those the uprights from the field goal or
yes.
what?
Yes.
And they took them and just drove them in the ground.
No, we don't know what those are.
I think it's wood from the house
yes.
that's in front of the school.
Yeah.
It was wood. And then this is part of the bleachers, I believe, from the visitor side.
Back when there were bleachers, there were seats on the bleachers.
There were. And
the
bleachers went over the chain link fence. The chain link fence that was on the other side of that was not touched.
Well, I actually, that day I had actually gone up to Iron Springs and had lunch. And so I could see some of the clouds coming through and whatever. And I thought, well, it's no big deal. And Melissa, just like you, I kept thinking, well, I'm listening to the radio and there's no warnings. There's no, emergency weather alert system or whatever. So we're good. It shouldn't be no big deal. Boom.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
And this was a drone footage that we got that day, wasn't it, Ms. Spears?
Yes. The next morning.
The next morning. So you can see this is the highway right here. And then this is the aftermath. And then this is what it looks like today.
Just unrecognizable. This is fantastic. Thank you. Wow. And I know a lot of times, usually I'm the gabby guy, but I'm sitting here with my mouth hanging open going, holy cow. Hang on one quick second. For those of you listening on the podcast, Hot Springs Village Inside Out, you'll want to go to YouTube and see these pictures and Miss Melissa's new haircut, which I really am digging. I think it's cute. But my point being, these pictures are just beyond description. I'm going to say it again. The grace of the dear Lord above kept anybody from getting harmed, especially with, what did you have, Kendall and Melissa? Did you have 15 to 30 seconds? Maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't even.
Once we processed what it was already.
I'm sorry, say that again. I broke in.
Once we processed what was happening, it was already over.
Really?
Yes.
So the SRO comes in and says, it's a tornado. Let's go. And by that time,
we didn't really go. We kind of laughed. He said it was kind of like trying to get all the hens back in the back in the hen house.
And so, and it did. It just happened that quickly. And so by the time, he was not asking us to go to the safe room. We did not have time to go to the safe room. There was absolutely no time. He was just wanting us to get into the interior of the building.
You realized that to get to the safe room would have endangered you, ironically.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So I see a pole bent over up by the snack bar there. That's what was that? Was that a light or a stadium light?
That's a light.
Stadium light.
Stadium light. All four of them were snapped like that.
Did they estimate what this was? Was this a E2, E3, E4?
EF1.
EF1, really?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But it was a direct hit too, because that's 90 to 110 or something like that.
Yes.
Wow.
So this area here in between the fences, that's where those bleachers were.
Past tense.
Yes, were.
Yeah.
The ones that ended up on the field.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Exactly. And I don't know, it's just me, but that early American decoration with the fiberglass insulation, I'm not much of a fan. I like the new clean aesthetic look that you've gone with.
So one of the duties that I had the next day was to be in charge of some cleanup crews. We had some faculty or some staff that needed to, work. Yep. And so we put them on the cleanup crew and we figured out the best way to pull insulation out of a chain link fence is to use a grabber, the trash picker. Yeah. Yes, it works the best. I promise.
And luckily with all the old folks nearby, you didn't have a shortage of grabbers.
No. Yeah. And Ace Hardware had plenty to go and get more. So
thank you, Village Hardware, right? Yeah.
Yes. And then this
Wow,
is what it looks
gorgeous.
like today.
Oh, magnificent, magnificent.
Absolutely
And
beautiful.
once again, nobody would ever pray, wish, or fear anything like this. But, we can have a millage increase or a tornado. Let's go with the millage increase. Let's go with the millage increase. Of course, and I'm being funny, but Melissa, this obviously the replacement funds and to make new and better is fine, but that doesn't address the ongoing expenses of everything, does it?
It doesn't. And we were blessed. The majority of it was covered by insurance. The one upgrade, the one thing that we did cover or did not have covered under insurance was the football field. It was a grass field. And so they explained it, when you have insurance on your home, that doesn't cover your yard, that doesn't cover your lawn. So there was so much, you saw the wood, but there was glass and there was metal and there was so much stuff embedded in that field that nobody was willing to sign off that was safe for anybody to play on, that there was any way we would ever get all of that out of there.
Oh.
So we had those were things you don't think about. So we knew we had a couple of choices. We had to take the total top layer off of that field. And if we did that, then we had to come back in. My first thought was, no, we're going back with grass. Well, you got to come back in with new dirt and then grass. And they couldn't guarantee that the grass would be ready to play on in August. And that even if it was ready to play on, 1 year of playing on it could mean we're starting all over again for the following year. It would kill the grass. So we weighed a lot of different things and with the school board, and we just determined that the best option was to go with turf. And so that portion was not covered under insurance.
Yeah, but it looks green in the winter too. It looks pretty all the year round.
It does.
I had a friend one time that moved here or moved. She came to visit from California, and I said, I'd never been to California at the time. When you hear the story, you'll know the rest of it. I said, so what do you think about Arkansas? And she said, it's so green. And I remembered looking around and going, yeah, what color is it supposed to be? It's supposed to be green when it's healthy, right? I have since been to Southern California, and yeah, it's not green. It's not green at all anywhere around Southern California. Well, I know this is not the only thing that's happened, and obviously this isn't what you envisioned in any way. How does this affect where we're going forward, Melissa?
Well, I think probably some of the most important things, it's reminded us, me especially, well, no, not just me especially, all of us, of how blessed we are. Mm-hmm. We were blessed on that day. We've been blessed with so much community support and outpouring. It was unbelievable to me, or unimaginable to me, how people would turn out that very afternoon to help. And they were bringing chainsaws, and they were bringing equipment, and they were helping. And I'm not just talking about emergency personnel, emergency first responders. I'm talking about community. And I was reminded of what a fabulous community we live in, and how rich we are in resources just from the community, the giving and the helping and the time. And so I think that helping keep things in perspective and what is important. And so it's enabled us to talk to our students about that and talk to our staff about that. And, it's just lots of things. And we're using it as an opportunity. A lot of our students, well, none of our students were alive on 9/11 in 2001. They don't, when we talk about that, when we talk about first responders, they don't, what was the big deal? Yeah, this year, we were able to talk about 9/11 and first responders and tie that into our local first responders and how they came out and helped us on January 2nd. And so I think it was a good, object lesson for our students.
Not all of your first responders had badges on either, did they now?
No, they did not.
No. Kendall, what do you
and it wasn't just that day.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that day. It continued that whole week. And just people showing up and giving.
Kendall, you?
From all over.
Mhm.
I did one picture I did not get because I did not have a before or after pictures. We have our third graders in between the elementary building and the band building have a chicken coop where they take care of some chickens and they collect the eggs and then they sell the eggs for a fundraiser. Well, the chicken coop was gone.
Yeah.
All of the chickens were accounted for by the end of the week. But other school districts and elementary schools from, I think there was some from Oklahoma, Hot Springs, I want to say maybe one from Tennessee, did fundraisers for the third graders to rebuild the chicken coop. And so we talk about that and we think about when a disaster like that happens in our area, oh, we need to write them a letter or we need to support these kids because they've just gone through a tragedy. And you never know the impact. And so now we know that impact. The other thing that I forgot to mention was I mentioned the time of day, but had that tornado, had it been 10 more minutes, our kids would have been on buses sitting right out front of the school.
Oh, goodness.
So that puts it in a different perspective.
You think?
Yeah. You know, so, and I think all of us have a little bit, Melissa and I talk about this quite often when you were referring about how we have to trust our phones for notifications. I don't quite trust my phone anymore. There's been many a nights when we had those storms in the spring where if I knew there was going to be a storm, I've got every radar available on my phone and I'm tracking that storm and I'm up watching the clouds. And it's just been interesting and something that each one of us has a connection to each other about. So we're very thankful, we're very blessed.
I think it's never been the same since Ned Permy left, but that's just me. I mean, but you know, there's somebody, and I'm being funny. You're trying to, but you know, somebody that was your weatherman for 30 years, through generations. That's one thing, and you literally begin to be where you trust them. And yeah, understandably so. Todd Jacobian, great guy who unfortunately has moved on to a different job since then. But at the same time, there's no substitute for looking out the window. There's no substitute for the SRO officer coming in and going, "It's a tornado, take cover." Oh, whatever. No, really, it's a tornado, take cover. Right? There's no substitute for that. I about a year ago, when I just first started the radio edition of this show, I was at my brother-in-law's mother's funeral in Benton. And Melissa, you didn't mean to make me tear up, did you?
I didn't.
When people ask what it's like to live in the South, when people ask what it's like to live in the South, at my brother-in-law's mother's funeral, she was 93. She might have weighed 82 pounds. She was a very private lady. And as we drove through Benton, every car pulled over for a lady that they never met and never would meet. Is that am I only saying that happens in the South? Of course not. But there are good people everywhere. Excuse me. Good people that happen to have a chainsaw in the back of their truck, and you happen to have a need, that I happen to be here, right?
Yep.
Unbelievable stories. Sorry, I didn't. As you were telling that story, I thought maybe they can't see me crying, but they probably can. Anyway, the ones that couldn't see it can now hear it, so there you go. But my point being, it's not the taxes, it's not the millage, it's not the money, it's not the anything. It's the hearts of people that come out. And they showed you that, didn't they?
They did. Yes. The other thing I think too that I think is a good reminder that a school is the heart of a community. You know, I think that a lot of people, I didn't go to school there. But that's my school. That is, it's near and dear to my heart. And it's important to a community. And I think we don't ever need to lose sight of the importance, especially in a small area, a small community. Mm-hmm. That school is important.
Well, and people like you and Kendall, to be frank about it, in an area like this, and you know this, I grew up in Arkansas. We all did here, but stability and the time that you spend and you dedicate to a place so that generations can say, do y'all remember Miss Spears? Do you remember Miss Kaminsky? Do you remember, do y'all remember these people? And it's a fixture in the community. It's kind of a non-elected post, if you know what I mean. It's the mayor of the school kind of thing, So so say you appreciate you is an understatement, all of you. So thanks so much. Anything we want to talk about moving forward? Because we don't get to do this often anymore. We need to try this again. You people are always doing that school thing you people have.
So another thing that we have going on our campus that started, I want to say about 3 years ago, we have a community health center that is for our students. That's how we started it. We got a grant. We started it for our students and staff. And then this year we have opened it up to the community. So you could come and see our nurse practitioner. Amy Bennett is our nurse practitioner, and she provides everything that you could need at our health clinic, similar to Fountain Lakes, but ours is better. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there.
Duh.
Yeah. But it is open on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8:30 to 11:30, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 4. And so if there's anyone in our area that needs to get some care at our clinic, you're more than welcome to come out.
Does Amy know how to Zoom?
Amy does know how to Zoom.
Then maybe we need to get her together and do that, because I don't think people realize, villagers like myself, semi-retired or whatever you call it. I think Diane said we're getting a half day off the day of our funeral, but I don't know which half of the day it is. But, the people like myself, we know the school is there. We know it's a resource. We know we can do that. At the same time, the idea of, hey, I could go to the school and have this cough checked out. I could, at least get care. No, do they, I'm sure they accept insurance like anybody else, right?
It's through CHI. And
wonderful folks.
Yeah, wonderful folks. In fact, my father-in-law just moved here recently from Paragould, and he was not feeling well. I want to say it was the first day they opened for the school year, and I got him right in and got him fixed up, and it was wonderful. It's just like a regular office visit.
That whole getting right in thing is not what it used to be. I'll make note, there's some really nice Mediclinic, the doc in a box kind of things that they built in Hot Springs. And they're closed a lot of the time because they can't staff them. So having somebody that's available, kind of getting to be a huge thing, if you know what I mean, right?
Right. And, it's open at 8:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays. And so it gives you enough time to get up, get ready, and it's not crowded per se.
Right.
So they can work you in and get whatever you need for you.
Oh, seriously, we'll take a look at that, and I would like to do a show with her if we could about that. And Melissa, help me give the 5 Mile High view. We have Fountain Lake down the road, the southern people. They're nice enough, but over there. Then we have God's real people up here at Jessieville, up right by the National Forest, right? And then we have Mountain Pine, which is a little bit further. Was that north or west of us? North, I guess. Northwest.
South. Yeah. They're kind of southwest of us.
And what people don't recognize is that the village pays a significant, we have a lot of vacant lots, a lot of, undeveloped property. And so we do pay millage that goes to Fountain Lake. We pay millage that goes to Jessieville. But the fine folks at Mountain Pine are surrounded by national forest, and the U.S. government pays $0 in taxes. So not all areas are alike. And my point being, healthcare doesn't draw the dividing line between, okay, you're in Jessieville and you're in Mountain Pine, or you're in Fountain Lake, or you're in whatever. gee, if I've got a cold, I've got a cold, and I need to come see somebody, and we need to work this out. So I can see where a grant and a federal plant like this, a government plan that helps the whole community, because I know also, let's just face the unfortunate truth, you have a lot of people under a lot of people that qualify for school lunch. How about that?
Yes.
And if you qualify
Yes,
for
do.
school lunch, you probably don't have a whole lot of health care at the same time, right?
Probably. You're probably correct.
Yeah. So,
well, and the other, I'm sorry, the other nice thing that we've done in our school-based health center, we've worked with 3 local dentists, and they are doing dental screenings. We're not set up to do full dental treatments, but they're doing dental screenings for our students. I believe we did 2 last year, and then she's got some scheduled for this year where they come in and they can screen the students. They can look and see if there's issues and then refer them to a dentist of the parent's choice. So that's been extremely helpful as well.
I remember when I was a kid, we got a toothbrush on a health day, mm-hmm. and we got the red capsules, and you chewed the tooth and you brushed, and mine looked like something from a horror film. I had to I don't know what was going on there, but apparently I should have been brushing better. But for a lot of people that don't know, and I know that y'all probably do, but one of the 1-to-1 correlations between heart disease and dental care are unbelievably linked to each other. Where you would think, well, it's diabetes or whatever. Yes, those are obviously complicating factors, but man, if you don't take care of your teeth, it goes a lot of other places real quick, right?
Right.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate your time today, lady. I know we're after hours, we're after work, and you've been more than gracious to step in and chat with us. We will talk again soon. Is that okay?
Sounds wonderful.
Ladies, it's always a delight. Dennis Simpson, Hot Springs Village Inside Out. I am Dennis Simpson. She is Kendall Gaminsky. She is Melissa Spears. We will see you next time. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching and listening to Hot Springs Village Inside Out, a weekly podcast starring Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. Visit the website at hotspringsvillageinsideout.com.